My name is Morgan Pratap Arumugam. My ID number is DEM0121069. Today I want to talk about background of 1MDBD scandal. The 1MDBD stands for One Malaysia Development Berhad. It is a company formed in 2009 by the federal government of Malaysia. 1MDBD had become such a problem for many by late 2014. The case of 1MDBD should be of particular interest for students and scholars of editing, accounting, and corporate governance since it involves the following: the alleged disappearance of huge amount of companies' funds, Malaysia Kini, the Malaysian Insider, and Free Malaysia Today. All the published materials of concentrate up the end of June 2015. All the published materials of concern are dated up at the end of June 2015. It also notable that following the completion of these case studies, the work on another series of case studies shall be embarked upon. It is also notable that following the completion of case studies, the work on another series of case studies shall be embarked upon. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kanisha and my ID number are DEM0121005. Today I am going to present about the reason for 1MDB scandal arose in Malaysia. First of all, the reason is internal control over spending, lending and investment in 1MDB was weak and reflected in adequate governance system. 1MDB's management practice have been found to violate the Companies Act of 1965, Malaysia's Corporate Governance Code and International Best Practice for Corporate Governance. Management and BOD failed to carry out feasibility studies and inappropriate assessment process as needed. The board was repeatedly given incorrect and inaccurate information. Furthermore, the reason for 1MDB scandal arose in Malaysia are attempts to combat 1MDB corruption which have been hampered by political control over oversight and investigate agencies. Special force formed in 2015 to reveal evidence of corruption was stopped shortly after evidence of guilty evidence against Najib appeared and then abandoned. The original AGM report on 1MDB for 2016 contained full evidence related to Najib, Roh and extra. Third reason, corruption was promoted by the weak internal money laundering rules of Malaysia and other banks, and even if such rules exist by the willingness to not comply with those rules or the anti-money laundering. This reflects how corruption arises from the perception that such practice represent low risk and high reward. Bank did not take the ban on money laundering prevention as seriously as it should. Goldman Sachs acknowledged that the company's business culture sometimes prioritizes closing transaction over proper operation of compliance function.
Kandarupan Ravichandran and my ID number is 0121055. The fourth and most important reason was the lack of political will. There was no political will to deal with corruption and 1MDB as Najib was the Prime Minister and chair of the 1MDB advisor board and was allegedly a beneficiary of embezzlement. After the change of government in May 2018, the political will to eradicate corruption became clear. This has made it possible to break the scales to surveillance and the investigate authorities. The fifth reason behind the 1MDB scandal was the hegemonic nature of Malaysian democratic regime until after the May 2018 general election. Barisan Nasional take the advantage of it whenever the interests of surveillance and the information agency such as MACC National Audit Office and police are at stake, while preventing Congress from overseeing government action. Under such a hegemony, Prime Minister Najib was able to exercise his personal authority with little restriction. High place in government and the private sector in Malaysia which consider corrupt practice, leading to large financial gain as acceptable and to be agent in when opportunities arose. In recent years, corruption in Malaysia has deteriorated as in corruption perception index CPI score as report from 52 in 2014 to 47 in 2018.
I think coming from the strategy one present about this is because of the Najib Sarawak allegation of Najib doesn't involve the 1MDB scandal. The scandal not only the Sheikh Najib political connection but also included private public social agents including from the last political Guru Mahathir Mohamad. Therefore, the article attempts to examine the new Malaysia political landscape, especially the relationship of BN and the opposite Isa the Malay political alliance. Namely, history asked the witness that in the last election, Pakatan Harapan won the most dramatical election even since the independence of Malaysia. And UMNO has lost the power. In the political scenario surrounding 1MDB scandal and the relationship between UMNO, BN Visa is other parties become one of the stories that always trigger public resource.
My name is Darren James Naya, son of Rodney James. My student ID is DEM0321079. I'm going to present about the investigation and enforcement actions taken so far for this 1MDB case. First is the investigation. Under Mahathir's new government, steps were taken to resurrect the inquiry, including the re-establishment of the Special Task Team. It is made up of the MACC, Attorney Chambers, General Royal Malaysia Police, and Bank Negara Malaysia. And its senior members are individuals who were part of the initial task force. The Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorism Financing Act of 2001, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Amendment Act of 2018, and the Penal Code are the laws under which enforcement is taking place. Section 409. Enforcement actions taken so far. Several officials from 1MDB have been charged in Malaysia. Second, Arul Kanda, the former CEO of 1MDB, was charged in December 2018 with tampering with the company's 2016 audit report to remove proof of corruption. Lastly, on 7 October 2009, 80 people were penalized US 100 million, which is equivalent to 418.6 million Malaysian ringgit for obtaining illegal funds from 1MDB.